I was climbing mountains in Switzerland, and it was clear to me that there was something wrong that couldn't be put down just to encroaching old age and lack of fitness. I also had edema, which at the time I didn't know anything about. I just thought I had swollen ankles. And I was in Switzerland, and then I came out of the mountains because it wasn't working very well, and went back to London, and by the time I got back to London, I couldn't walk down a flat pavement at a regular pace without getting breathless. People got more and more confused because it was clear that I had heart failure, but I didn't have any of the normal symptoms leading up to it. At the end of the day, they did a echocardiogram, which showed that the walls of my heart were full of little speckledy things. The next day, the cardiologist came to see me and said, we need to do a biopsy on your heart, but I'm 98% certain you've got amyloidosis, and if you don't, I've got no idea what's going on. I don't, from my experience, I don't believe that it is reasonable to expect any GP to be able to say, you've got amyloidosis. I think, and let's face it, many GPs will effectively never have heard of it. I think that what I would do if I had my time again would be to say, if there are a whole lot of symptoms which don't add up, you know, if you've got breathlessness, if you've got fatigue, but if you've done the lung tests, if you've done the ECG or the angiogram, it seems to be fine, but if you've got an ECG that says you've got little bits and pieces, and probably if somebody tells you you've got athlete's heart, then say, have you considered these other things, and could you do an echocardiogram? Because that for certainly cardiac AL would appear to be the easiest way of finding out whether there is something that is worth further investigation. Undergoing a heart biopsy is obviously not something to be taken lightly, but you know, one thing led to the other, and in my case, the evidence from the echocardiogram was compelling enough to make it worthwhile doing a biopsy on what was clearly a damaged heart. My heart kept playing up. I had a heart flutter, which is like arrhythmia, but not quite the same. I then had arrhythmia. At one point, my heart rate dropped down to 22 beats a minute, which is barely working at all. And then I, in September last year, got a pacemaker, which has made a huge difference.